And welcome back to the home of original sports perspective. From our couch to yours, this is your couch writer, Raven Jermaine Lockett. And here I have today in Sports We Trust page admin, resident, Baltimore, Maryland native, and just big time Ravens fan, Shannon Finch. What's going on?
How?
Hey, how's life going for you?
Pretty good. It's still coming down from Monday night, but
Yeah, it was a little tough. It was a little tough, And the thing was, is
hmm
watching the game, I was emotional roller coaster, but then going back and looking at the tape, Lamar didn't have that bad of a night outside those fumbles. I mean, you seen this guy throw over above, anytime he throws above 220 yards passing, you're like, hey, this is a pretty solid night.
hmm
Uh,
I think his fumbles is what made everybody go Lamar, Lamar, Lamar because of when they happened. You know what I mean? If that happened earlier in the game, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal.
yeah, it was crucial in the night. And I
Yeah,
think, yeah, both of them ended up causing him to score off us. So, scores were given.
10 points.
And I was like, oh man, but overall he looked good. And for once, we're not complaining about the wide receivers. We're not complaining
Yeah.
about the passing game as a whole. I think overall the offense had a great game.
hmm
Outside those fumbles, I think the mesh point fumble and then the other two by Lamar, but the receivers had a pretty solid game. I mean, what more could we ask
I
for
was
except for
actually, I mean, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I said. I was pleasantly surprised about the passing game.
Mhm.
I didn't know what to expect. But they weren't. For one, you said one time in our life, we're not leaving the game being mad at the wide receivers. It wasn't on them.
Yep.
And like you said, I wouldn't even put it all on Lamar. It's just that the fumbles happen at a horrible time, and for it to be points scored on both, like that was going to stand out. But to me, it was that offensive line. Ooh,
Yeah. All right, looks
that
like
was
we got
something.
people in the room already. So we got
That was
KCSC
thinking.
Sports Talk with Justin here. Hey, what's going on, Justin? Man, glad you're here. You'll see people pop in and out of the room just at random. So we say what's
hmm
up. Uh,
Okay.
in fact, let me go ahead and share this feed. So we'll go ahead and grab this real quick. Actually, let me jump on YouTube real quick. Grab the link and then share that to a couple of pages. You want to do the same? Just put it on the Sports Talk page. Hey Justin, if
Okay.
you want to share that, if you want to do us a favor and share that link, man, it'll help us out a lot. Let's see. Okay, now I can see. I'm just a little blurry as usual. I'm going to have to just get the Ethernet cable and just hook it straight in. But
hmm
we'll put this on the We Are the Ravens and just 1 second. Going. Are you on the We Are the Ravens flop?
I can go there. You mean the Facebook group?
Yes. I just sent you a link to it. So 'cause I was just gonna say,
Okay.
hey, going live with Shannon Finch, talking all things Chiefs and Ravens.
Okay. I can approve it whenever you send it.
Okay. Let's see. Paste that there. And there we go.
Oh, you meant that group? No, I wasn't in that group, but that's fine.
It's all good. I'm gonna send you this one too.
Okay.
And I'll put it in the. There's this group on Twitter. I don't know if you heard of it, but it's called the Let the Black Man Talk, and they just go off about Ravens all day long. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Okay. I put in a couple feed. Well, I think I need to copy and put it in Ravens Nation. That's like the loudest one of these Ravens folks.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Okay, so we got 3 people in the room. Pretty sure they'll join as we come through, but we were just chatting it up, talking about the Raiders-Ravens game. A little heartbreak, 0-1, but oh my goodness, the odds are against us right now. Even Vegas, CBS Sports, everybody is saying that Baltimore is going to go 0-2. The odds are saying that we are it says minus 3.5 against the Chiefs, or at least the Chiefs are minus 3.5 against us, which means they're thinking that they are going to win. But looking at the tape and looking at the stats from the game against the Cleveland Browns, I think it looks like there's some chinks in the armor. But I'm going to ask you the first question here is, where are these kinks in this Chiefs armor?
I think the most obvious thing with the Chiefs is their defense. I mean, Cleveland moved the ball up and down. I think when I was watching the game, they said they scored on every possession, and when they did punt, that was the first time at that point. And I was like, wow, I didn't even realize they had the ball that often. I think it's their defense, and there's no doubt about that at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, it just looked like Baker I'm like, dude got 321 yards of passing through the air. I'm like, wow, he's just throwing the ball all over the yard. No biggie. Like, hey, these Chiefs ain't nothing. Yeah. And then, of course, they scored, I think, 2 touchdowns on the ground through the lead run back. I think even Hunt got a touchdown. I'm not sure, but they just rolled these guys offensively. It looked like the defense opened up the floodgates and was like, hey, come on through. There's plenty of real estate back here. Do you want it? I believe that they come into that same mentality against Baltimore, and they pretty much let Baltimore run all over them. If we win the time of possession battle, there's going to be a lot of people out there in Vegas pissed off.
But the thing about it is, did we win it Monday? Did we win time possession Monday?
It was close
against the Raiders.
Let me check. I think we was pretty close on the time possession battle on that one. If I look at it right now,
the only thing about the time possession, it doesn't work against the Chiefs. Do you see how fast they can score? Like that doesn't even matter when you're playing them.
Yeah,
because you're going to still have to score. Like, you have to match what they do.
Yeah, it was 32-30, 32-34. The Raiders won the time possession battle. But I have seen in the past when Baltimore gets 37.
Is that including the overtime?
I think that's concluding overtime. 37 to 32.
See, I think I'm referring to regulation. But yeah, I mean that makes sense. At that point, it was pretty even. That's why the game kept going back and forth at that point. But that was a winnable game. Like, we should have won that game.
Absolutely. Looks like the Pointful has something to say here. It says, great question. I hope Wink don't overkill the blitzing. We're gonna get to that.
That's the only way we can. That's the only way we can get pressure sometimes.
Yes. From what I could see against the blitz, it was just they saw it was a man blitz, and they just threw slants. They threw any type of crossing route to Renfro to try
all the time. Yeah. All the time. That's what kills us every time. So it's like we need to invest in some pass rushes like yesterday.
Yeah. I think it's the scheme. Honestly, I think it was the scheme because the pressure was there. You saw they got Odafe Owe. He got 4 pressures. He got his first sack. McPhee got a sack. And I believe Houston got his first sack as well. And so
when did they all happen? When did they happen? In the first half?
It was like later in this. I think it was in the second. I think it was in the second half. I think McPhee got the first one, but I think it should have been on Houston. I think that should have been his first sack, but they gave the credit fully to McPhee. So the pressure was getting there. It's just they got to get home a little bit faster, more consistent, because as they get those pressures, it seemed like Carr was coming back more determined to toss that rock over top to Darren Waller, who just owned us. It was crazy.
Yeah, he'll do that to everybody every week.
Yeah. You can't, and that's the thing. He had two different things he was doing. So whenever he would go to zone, he would take Humphrey off of Waller, and then they just go straight to Waller. And then, of course, if they put Humphrey on Waller, then it would just go to Renfro, do a crossing route or a whip route or something along those lines to make sure that Renfro was able to separate from our corners, whether it had been Young or Averett. And I saw they did have some good pass defenses, but they were getting the majority of the pepper that was coming from Derek Carr.
Oh, definitely. It was easy. It was kind of common sense where it was like cookies and milk out there. That's how I actually felt embarrassed watching the defense. Yeah. Like they just had our head. And I felt like, and after halftime, I felt like they made adjustments, the Raiders, and we didn't adjust to what they did.
Yeah,
and it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was tough. I was just like, man, he keeps just getting everything he needs on third down. It just didn't make any sense. See, KTSC or Justin says pass rush most definitely has to be better on Sunday. I agree. I mean, but the thing is with Pat Mahomes, you got to get pressure with 4. And I saw people come in at 5. You know how he likes to bring the whole kitchen sink. Wink does whenever he's blitzing, and it becomes a major problem if you're blitzing that many people and Kelsey has one-on-one matchups. Of course, if it's a zone blitz, if he has zone blitzes, it'll work a little bit better. But if he's running these man blitzes with zero, it's zero coverage up top, or zero blitzes is what he's running, there's going to be a lot of problems. Let's see. Let's move on to this next question here. Let's go back over here to the O. I know we got a little bit all over the place. I'm gonna go ahead and type this in real quick. You can read Justin's. Go ahead and reply to Justin while I'm typing this in.
This may have been the game where they run the ball heavy to keep. In our mind, you want to think time of possession, keep them off the field. That's the only way you can really beat the Chiefs. You want to try to keep them off the field, but not only that, score. You have to score because you know they're going to score. And even if you keep them from scoring, we know that they can score like that. So, yeah, we can run the ball to try to keep them off the field, but we have to also run the ball and get yards and get first downs. Stay on the field. Give our defense a break because I could tell they were tired Monday. They're going to need rest come Sunday night.
Absolutely. I think getting those defensive players a blow, which is going to make them more explosive as they come back on the field. And that's why I say that time possession battle is so key. If we have it 37 minutes time possession, it means Pat can't come out there and throw, but he might throw it quick, but we work it down slowly and get the same amount of points, and it just makes it a closer game. If we going 3 and out,
I don't want to be in a close game with them. I'm tired.
Yeah. I would love to blow them out, but if you play Pat's game, you know how Pat is. He's like, hey, I'll throw it up better than y'all throw it up. And if we get 1-3 and out, Pat's like, you know what? I'm taking advantage. I'm coming over top. I'm coming to destroy y'all because he's not going to get.
We can run the ball, but we have to also get first downs. You have to be productive when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And score touchdowns more than field goals. It doesn't matter if we hold on to the ball and we aren't scoring, But again, I'm not even really mad at the offense. We scored 27 points this week, Monday.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with the way that they're doing it. It's just I say take every minute off that clock. If you're running it or passing it, I say run that clock down as much as possible. Get those defensive guys a break, and figure out a way to just slow the game down and keep the ball out of Pat Mahomes' hands. Anyway, here's the first question.
Go ahead.
No, yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, we played them. This is going to be the 4th year in a row.
Yeah.
What do you think the game plan has been the past 3 times we played them?
Well, they came out last time with a game plan. That first drive looked really good, than running the ball. And then the drives after that, they tried to throw it when they were successful on the run, and they should have stuck to the ground, and they didn't. They got away from it, and that's when Pat Mahomes came out there with that grudge because it was all about that top 100 by then because he was just like, hey, they put me in number 4.
I remember. He remembered that, right?
Yes, he was on a mission, and so what we need to do is make sure he doesn't succeed in his mission again or whatever, or, solidifying his stance right now as the number one player on the top 100, because that looks like that means a lot to him. If he has that chip on his shoulder, it goes a little crazy. All right,
But
so let's
what
go to
you
the
said
first
was
question.
important. You said this, or you said that they stopped running the ball. We had to keep doing it for it to be successful. That's the biggest thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
consistency is key. And the thing is
yeah.
Chiefs obviously don't have a way of stopping the run. And we have a running back that is a absolute, in my opinion, I think he's just a starter from day one. He should have been, he is, and they shouldn't have took him out in the half against the Raiders. I thought Williams was doing his thing.
Exactly.
All right, so here we are. We got can the Ravens throw the ball all over the yard like Baker? Or and should they?
Can our line protect Lamar to be able to do that? I mean,
Lamar seems to have faith. He's got faith.
Okay. I expect Lamar to have faith. He's supposed to have faith. Me,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Should we do that? No. I mean, we don't need to play our strengths, right? So our strength is running the ball. And if you run the ball successful, then that's going to open up the passing game. But if the offensive line cannot protect Lamar to give him time to do that, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I think they have to figure out what their game plan is, who they are. Don't worry about what Kansas City is. Worry about who they are. And I think it has to involve Mark Andrews. And I think Justin
did he play on Monday? Did he play?
Yeah, he had a disappearance there. I think he was in the locker room. He's eating chips or something.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, he got a little work in. It was nothing compared to what the other two got with Hollywood and Watkins. They didn't get that type of work. And they say he has a thing of disappearing in clutch games. Is this true? Because I mean, sometimes I just I'm so focused on us trying to win the game. Sometimes I'm not watching Andrews, and then I realize, he wasn't that much of a factor.
Right. When I don't realize it until someone else says it. What you just said, because somebody said that he did the same thing in one of the playoffs games, and I was like, he did? Like, you think about all the good things that he do, I don't realize when he doesn't show up. So maybe I need to pay a little bit more attention to that.
Yeah, I guess against the Tennessee Titans, you really didn't see him. Not any of the times we played the Tennessee Titans, except for the playoffs this year. He made a big play, this playoffs, but other than that, he wasn't like a huge factor. And it seems like they, teams game plan for him. They X him out, but he's still that's when you're supposed to shine up the biggest. Just like we game plan for Waller, the dude still catches 10 balls and has over 100 some yards. You're like, man, how do we stop this guy?
Well, one thing that'll help that is having the other pass catchers be able to be more consistent. Then it'll open things because you can't really game plan when you gotta defend everybody else too, unless you want to leave somebody else open.
Yes, yeah, and the thing is, you got to figure out what Pat isn't watching, and usually it's the back door. It's the back door to the halfback. So it's like you want to go ahead and blitz, and maybe make sure he's not looking for that wheel pass to that halfback. Then you might want to take that gamble there. But he's usually looking for Tyreek, or he's looking for his big man Kelsey. D3's got something here. Let's see what he has to say here. Says we need to rush consistently against Kansas City. That is their weakness. Keep their offense off the field. What are your thoughts?
Rush meaning run the ball, right? Or not pass rush, right?
Talking pass rush.
Pass rush.
Well, it says keep their offense off the field. So maybe they're talking about running the ball. I think they're on the same page as us. So I think D3. Could you clarify?
Because my only thing about it, I mean, both. Even if you're talking about a pass rush, is it their weakness because of Orlando Brown? Because it's rookies on. What makes you think it's a weakness of theirs?
Yeah, I don't think pass rush. I'm thinking he's thinking we need to run the ball. I'm thinking that's right. Okay, so he says
definitely.
Okay, yeah, Baltimore. Okay, so it looks like he's saying Baltimore needs to run the ball. Absolutely, we run the ball. We slow the things down. Keep Pat off the field. And yes, get the defense, give them a blow, and then it's going to be on for Lamar and them as they can matriculate the ball down the field and then get points. I keep hearing this thing about analytics left and right. Every time something doesn't go right, the announcers say analytics, Harbaugh says analytics. I'm tired of analytics. Justin Tucker is there for a reason. Get your 3.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Get the
Sometimes we
points.
just don't need to go for it on 4th down. Like I've been in the stadium. I'm sitting there. What was it? Mark Ingram. He's sitting there trying to go for it. I think they were trying to go for it with Mark Ingram on 4th down and 2 yards, and they could have got points, and they didn't get those points. They went for it a couple of times that drive, and they didn't get the points in the end. And Chiefs ended up busting us over the head with it. That was the one I went to when it was in Chiefs Stadium, loudest stadium I've ever been in. It was crazy.
Oh, goodness.
So of course they were all clowning us like crazy. It was a tough day for the Ravens. All right, we got a lot of stuff here. So Devin Duke says he says sup Couch Rider, sup Raven, sup Shannon, sup Flock. Yeah, what's good?
Okay.
How's it going? Let's see what else we got here. I do not know how to say this person's name. I don't know if you got that.
Oh.
Says, in my opinion, Robert Lewandowski is the best football player in the world in the last 3 years, and not. I think we're on the wrong sport, buddy.
Talking about soccer?
Yeah, it's soccer.
Oh, we're talking about American football.
Yeah, it's American football. We throw this thing, man. Throw this thing. You got to. I appreciate you here. We appreciate y'all here, but man, you on the wrong channel. But hey, learn some American football today. This is what we here for. All right. D3 says, remember in 2019, Ingram ran for 100 plus and 3 TDs, but they tried to score. KC ain't built like that. Yeah, so they're not built like that. I'm trying to figure what he's saying here.
3 touchdowns, but they tried to outscore. We on built like what? We on built like what? So
Kansas City. I think he's just trying to say we're built differently than Kansas City is, and there's without a doubt. Some people they were talking about switching
we are, and that's how we need.
I think they got to remember that. I think the biggest key is just knowing, hey, we're not Kansas City. We don't have to do this shootout thing. That's their style.
Let's not.
There's been many times I've been watching.
Exactly. That's what I always say when we play them. You don't have to try to be Patrick Mahomes. Be Lamar Jackson. Do what suits you. Do what suits us best. Run the ball, and that'll open up everything else.
Absolutely. And my thing is they keep talking about, oh, well, if Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson switched, if they just switched places, would they be as effective? Well, Pat Mahomes would not be, because that's not the scheme that Greg Roman could not make Pat Mahomes successful. Yeah, it's just what it is. Now, of course, Lamar would probably be made into a better quarterback even without those weapons, because Eric Bieniemy is a better passing offensive coordinator. Now, but they would have to.
But the scheme be different. Would the scheme be different with Pat Mahomes because he can do more? See, I don't agree with you on that, because I don't.
Okay.
Pat Mahomes is nice. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and act like he's not that guy. He's that guy. So could he come on the Ravens and still be the same? Yes, absolutely. He would kill with Hollywood.
I think, but you can't. But Greg Roman would probably be fired like instantly, because it just wouldn't match up. You know what I mean? It's like they sit here and try to make Pat Mahomes run read option, and actually keep him.
They wouldn't even have to do that, because of how he's not. Patrick Mahomes is better than Kaepernick, Tyrod Taylor, and Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Oh yeah, I agree.
Tyrod Taylor and Lamar Jackson, they're all similar. So yeah, Greg Roman can make all of them do the same thing. Patrick Mahomes up here, he's different. That's different.
Yeah, that's what I say. If you brought Greg Roman. Yeah.
If Greg Roman had Patrick Mahomes and was doing the same type of stuff, I'm questioning him as a coach. No. He's up here with the greats. So yes, he come to Baltimore and do what Lamar. He probably would have won a Super Bowl or been to a Super Bowl. Because he would have probably won a playoff game at least before last year.
So, because you're going out there, straight arm talent and I think he would make Greg Roman alone. Yeah, he would make Greg Roman look better, but if Greg Roman tried to come in there and roll out the same schemes that he uses with Lamar, he'd probably be fired. It wouldn't work out as well. I'd say, Pat's still going to use his natural talent and end up, being successful, but I just don't think it's a good fit. And that's why I say, like, if you put, I think Lamar is great where he's at. Right here in Baltimore, because of what they do. They build it all around the ground. They've done it for years. When we had Ray Rice, we were the number 4 rushing attack in the league until 2015, when it went terrible. But but before then, that was all Baltimore knows. Defense, ground game. That's all we do. And I think that's a continuation here. And that's why Greg Roman fits so well here. And so I'm excited that he's still here, even though, they're trying to just revamp the offense and they're doing different things. So I'm hoping he keeps his job. But how do you feel about that?
I'm not excited about Greg Roman. I mean, oh my goodness.
But you just mentioned the trifecta.
This is my thing about Greg Roman. Like, yeah. I mean, he was perfect for Lamar, right?
Yeah.
We've seen this before. So I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt. We've seen him with Kaepernick for about 2-3 years. We saw him with Tyrod for 2 years. We've seen him with Lamar now for what, 3? I think he's been a coordinator now for the past 3 seasons, including this one. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
His MVP is when he became the OC, right?
Yeah, he was the head OC then, but he helped save John Harbaugh because okay. When you look at his offenses, do they elevate? He saved them, okay, but do his offenses elevate over the years? When you think about the 49ers, the Bills, and these 3 years on Ravens, what makes him do you think he's great because we have Lamar? I think he's great because he has a quarterback like Lamar. You mentioned the trifecta of Tyrod Taylor and Cap.
All right. He's good for. I guess he's good for Lamar, but is he going to help Lamar grow? Is Lamar going to improve? Is Lamar going to be the same?
But that's up to Keith Williams and them. They have to speak up in the game plan and be like, hey, look, this needs to be a part of. We talked about how how these drills are the actual routes of the plays. Then those guys got to speak up in there between
they need to step in. Yes.
Yeah. And it looks like they did.
If they get more involved, right? As long as he's allowing others to be involved,
yeah,
I'm fine. But we have to be a more balanced team. Like we can't. I'm okay with running. I feel like we need to stick with what we do best, which is run the ball. But in order for us to go where we want to go, which is a Super Bowl, and not only go but win, we have to be balanced. We have to be able to pass the ball. So all of that starts up front, and that's the offensive line.
All right,
they need to get it together.
Now we got some folks coming in now. We got some questions here. Let's see. Let's answer this one. We have 2 more roster spots. Who do y'all think the Ravens will add?
Out of people that's on the practice squad or like free agents?
Yeah, I guess we can move 2 players up from the practice squad if we want, or sign a random.
It's hard to say. I can just say a position. I can give you positions. I can't say who. I definitely think we need to bring. I definitely think we need to bring in a tackle. Okay. I don't know how they feel about who else is there, but I feel like sometimes competition leads the best out of people.
Yep.
That guy, the guy we got from the Steelers, I don't even want to say his name.
Villanueva. Alejandro.
He has to go. Like, did he come here? I think did he do that stuff on purpose on Monday night? Like I
don't know what he did Saturday night.
I don't know what was. I don't.
He just opened the door and
so
was like, "Hey,
here's Lamar, dog." I would be bringing in tackle, a versatile lineman, if I could do a versatile lineman, and probably it would either be a cornerback or a pass rusher.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm saying either or is because we do have some young cornerbacks that I wouldn't mind seeing more of. Right. Mm-hmm. So when you bring in veterans, sometimes that'll push the young guys back. So I would probably go a tackle, a pass rusher, a cornerback. I pick 2 out of those 3, and I would be happy.
So they were talking about this dude, Kevon Seymour. Apparently he runs a 4.39 40, and I think he came over from the Panthers. I'm looking forward to having him on the field because we need somebody to be able to hang with Reek. And if Westry is hurt, then that could be a big factor of who's going to hang with Tyreek on that back end because we don't have the speed outside of Anthony Averett to be able to handle that. So, and then, of course, I think the other guy I think we should bring up is Andre Smith. I mean, we signed him for a reason. He hasn't played it down for the Ravens because he was out last year because of COVID. He's a little older. But I mean, honestly, you ain't got to have the best speed, like straight line speed, in order to play right tackle. And Andre has experience because he played with the Bengals. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler. So I'm thinking if they bring him up from the practice squad and bring up Kevon Seymour, I think those 2 could fill that void where we're hurting on the offensive line. Actually, yeah, like you said, make him compete with Villanueva. Make it a full-on competition and make them, hey, Saturday night, or Saturday night 4:00, like, hey, this is when we make this decision of who's starting on that side. Because
I think Harbaugh will let the Steelers guy start again, because I think I saw some quotes today where he said he's going to play good football for us. He said the coach talk. He said all the good things. I can see him letting him start. I mean, play in this game and start this game against the Chiefs. But if it looks ugly early, or if he doesn't play well, then by week 3, I can see him no longer being there unless somebody gets injured and he has to play.
And there's another guy I was thinking about.
He can't just let guys get free range on our quarterback. Like, he can't allow that. That can't happen.
I was looking at some, just, I don't know if these were just like, onesie twosie situations, but there were plays when you saw Villanueva actually just pushing over to double team the guard,
leaving the wide open.
And you see Crosby coming in. Now, granted, on those read option plays, yes, that it is designed for that defensive end or the outside linebacker to come crashing in and make a decision, and Lamar makes his decision based off of that. But this was a full-on, the pass was a pass play, and you could see the running back in the wrong position, and you see Villanueva double teaming the guard, and full-on, I mean, he was like wide the heck open, ready to eat Lamar's lunch. I'm like, oh gosh, this is gonna get ugly.
That was ugly. Yeah. So we're not gonna have too much more of that. Like I said, I can see him starting. He'll probably start. Harbaugh will probably give him another shot, but that's not going to last much longer.
Show you. So let's see here. They have other questions here. Well, it's not questions, but more of a statement. We can actually talk about this one. D3 says, I hope Prochet and Wallace get more reps. What do you think about Prochet? I see him in camp, but in preseason games, outside of the Washington game, my man disappeared. Is he a Chris Moore?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not in practice. I don't know what he does there. I know what I see, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's like I sit here, I see all these tweets. I see every single report, and Prochet this, Prochet that. And then, I'm like, in the games or in the preseason games, who do we see show up? Duvernay. I saw Duvernay. Duvernay is like, hey, look, man, my stuff translates. He's like, my speed translates.
I like Duvernay. Duvernay.
And I like Prochet's work ethic. I do. And I like the fact that his route running and his hands are amazing. But they got to translate to the game. Either that or he's Chris Moore.
Yeah.
All right, let's see the next question. Murray or Williams, and why?
Williams, because he was killing at first, and then it's just like, oop, you out of there. And I don't understand why. Like, that's what I mean about running the ball. Like, see, that's my thing. I'll say this. Let me say this, because I know a lot of Ravens fans feel like John Harbaugh is a big issue, right? And I'm one to defend him because I feel like he's a good coach. Like, if you talk about the top coaches in the NFL, he's probably going to be in most people's top 5, top 6. So he's in that range, right? So you don't just throw away a coach like that just because whatever you feel. But I feel like we have a habit of getting away from the run, and I don't understand why we do that. And when it's working, we will still get away from it, and I don't understand that. So yes, Williams, because it was working. And then your second half coming, you're looking like, well, what's going on? I mean, are they trying to just you know what it felt like to me? It felt like a preseason game where we're trying to figure out who our starting running back's going to be. Yeah. I'm going to give you time right here, and I'm going to give you time right here, and then let's see. But I will go with Williams.
Yeah. I like Typhon because, I mean, when you're averaging 7.2 yards per carry, and then you got Murray averaging 2.3 yards a carry, or was it? I think it was 2.8. But still, it was not 7.2 yards a carry, which was Williams doing that. Granted, there was a mesh point situation to where, yes, it's going to take some time to get used to, okay, having the ball in your belly, and then Lamar basically looking at you like, hey, Yeah, and then taking it
Yeah.
out. So I mean, and then, running backs are hungry. They want it. You saw those issues with Dixon when they first started doing this, and other running backs who just could not get that. Hey, it's not my time yet. It's Lamar on this one because he just made the read and saw that daggone defensive end or outside linebacker crash on the running back.
Right.
And he's just got to see, okay, they got to have a keyword, a safe password or something like that. Like I said, they got to yell bingo or something.
They'll get it together. I mean, they only had 3-4 days before the actual game. I mean, that'll get better. It's even really hard to say this or that and why I mean it because we don't know. You know what I mean? We're just seeing them. Like you said, that it's different. You have to get used to a read option type of quarterback. So, I mean, we'll see. You know, I'm like I said, I'm not one to dismiss it. Like it's only week 1. Let's not panic. But the reality of it is we have a lot of people who are injured and who are not there. And then people that we put in our starting lineup on the start that wasn't with us at all in camp. So like Harbaugh was saying things like, well, Mary's been in camp the whole time. This, that, yeah, they were in the camp they were in. They weren't in this camp. They weren't learning these plays. They weren't learning, so to come in on 3 to 4 days of work and then have to play on Monday night in front of the whole world. Yeah. I don't have anything bad to say about any of them. Like, let's keep building. Let's keep building.
Yeah, I'm such a huge fan of Williams. I feel like just what he brings to the table, just that, what he does once he gets contacted. After contact, this guy decides he's just going to cut upfield, do his thing. I'm like, wow, this is just impressive out of a guy who's just now learning the system. Just told, hey, you are the new Gus, you are the new JK, you are the guy. And for him to come out and score that 30-yard touchdown, it was like a 32-yard touchdown, like out the gates, I felt like they should have stuck with this guy. Murray comes in, it doesn't look great. He stumbles off into the end zone backwards off of his run. It didn't look like an impressive, dominant run. He was just a big boy. It was a smart decision. He's a big boy. They let him bounce off the guy, and he got in there. But honestly, throughout the rest of the game, I didn't see impressive runs by this guy. I mean, there was a reason he was the Saints' backup. Is because he just wasn't that dude. There's a reason that Oakland or Los Angeles, Las Vegas, whatever they want to be called today, the reason they got rid of him is because he just wasn't that impressive in those organizations. Me personally, if I had a choice, I say bring up Devontae Freeman and make him the number 2 back behind Williams because he brings so much more of an edgy speed. Now, granted, he might be good for 4 total games and then he'll be broken like your new toy, because that's just what he do. He's explosive, but at the same time, he's on IR quicker than anything. That's
what I was going to say. I was going to say, well, how many games are we going to get? I mean, bring him up, but how many games are we going to get?
I say use him against the Chiefs. Find some explosive games that he can be explosive in, and then go ahead and pull up Le'Veon and put him in as number 2 once he gets the system down.
I want to know. I want to know what we're going to do with Bell. I mean, shoot, he can help in a multitude of ways too. I mean, we already know he can catch out the backfield. Yes. I would like to see Lamar with a back with the same type of skill sets of Le'Veon Bell. I don't know if Le'Veon Bell still has it. I don't know if our offensive line is as good as the Steelers was to make him be that type of player again, because he wasn't that with the Jets or with the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. But if we can get some of that and include that with what Lamar can do, with all the other weapons, that's when you become unstoppable. That's when we become that balanced offense that I feel like we need to be to go where we're trying to go.
I just want to see Lamar and them do a screen pass to Le'Veon, because I know we don't normally do screen passes, but with a screen pass to Le'Veon or hitting him on a wheel route, I think he could do some pretty big things, some pretty big damage there in open space or just catching. Yeah, because he's one of those guys.
I haven't forgot what he did to C.J. Mosley. Like, he used to kill C.J. Mosley in open space. So let's just get him out there and let's make some things happen.
Mm-hmm. Make sure he's in good shape. Obviously, if they on the roster, I think they passed the conditioning test of John Harbaugh. So that means they can actually,
that thing is tough.
I know. I tried to run it myself. I'm like, I was dying. I was like, oh my gosh, you can't even do that.
That's the toughest. They say it's the toughest conditioning test in the league. So,
it's tougher than the Air Force PT test. That's for sure. I passed mine today. Wow. I'm happy about that. Let's see here. What does D3? D3 says maybe they will allow Hayes to play because of his pass rush and coverage skills. I think they're having another conversation on the side here.
No,
So, they're talking about pass rush. So basically, I think the first one started off with Owe, and I want to see somebody else has. Owe got a sack. Yes. So we can start off with Owe in there. What do you think about his snap count?
I think one thing I envy when I watch other teams that have a defensive line and they can rotate people in and out, and it's everybody can make an impact. I envy teams like that because I wish that we could do that. I wish that we had that much depth that we could take this person out, that person out, put this person in. But we don't really do that around here. I don't know why.
I think they should have put. They should have not put Ferguson, in my opinion. I think Ferguson was not. He was not it. He had 10 snaps. I think he might have made 2 tackles, and that was it. But it was like, where's the pressure? And Dalen Hayes didn't get a snap, not one snap. I'm like,
it was, we don't. Maybe because definitely want to get him more time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of want to ease people in, let them learn certain things. Like I said, we can want whatever we want for people, but we don't get to see them day to day, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, he can get more time, but I don't know if it's okay. If we need to be pressed to do it right now, like we still got a long season. I'm not mad about the snap count. Like, I don't know. It's the first week. I just feel like everybody's still trying to feel things out. So it's hard for me to be mad about things.
Yeah. So they're saying Hayes wasn't active the first game. I honestly
wasn't.
Yeah, I guess I didn't catch on to that one. I felt like he didn't.
Well, he probably felt like he wasn't ready.
Yeah, it was at 0, but I was just like looking at the snap counts. I'm like, why wasn't he activated? I feel like that he should be active on game days. Because I'd love to see what he has. He has that explosion. He can be just as good as Owe.
Well, we got a lot of more weeks to see. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, so let's talk about this secondary. Who's the number 2? Who's the true number 2 that's sitting next to Humphrey?
Where's Jimmy Smith? He's so hurt.
Jimmy?
Oh my goodness. Right now, it's Anthony Averett. I mean, that's it right now. That's it. I mean, because you can't put Tavon Austin out there. If Jimmy Smith is not right, Jimmy Smith is.
Yeah, Tavon Young has done it before. Remember when everybody got hurt?
You want him out there for the next couple of weeks?
I mean, when we had no choice,
I like him better in the slot. Personally, I do. Yeah. I like Tavon Austin better in the slot. But
yeah, Tavon Young is
if you yeah. I mean, I like him better in the slot, so I want to keep him there. But I think Anthony is what we have right now because Jimmy Smith is not there. We know Marcus Peters is not there. But this is why when the question was asked, if you could bring up 2, what would you do? That's why I said cornerback was one of my options because you never had too many DBs. Yeah. We have an issue here with DBs getting hurt. So and it's hard for me to say. I'm like, who else? Who else is going to be number 2? Yeah,
I just remember Tavon Young when he had no choice and they put him to the outside because what happened was when the dude was drafted, he was drafted as a safety, moves in the corner. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets hurt. He has to do, I think, all of 2015 or 16 as the number 1 corner. And against the Dallas Cowboys, he was holding his own against Dez until it got to I think it was the 3rd quarter and then red zone. Of course, he got out jumped by Dez. He got mossed because the dude's he's not that tall. But as long as it's outside of the red zone, you can see this guy actually holding his own there.
I don't even think that it's a matter of him not being able to hold his own. I guess I just I always say, let people do what they're great at. And I just feel like he does well in the slot. And if we take him out of the slot, can somebody else fill his spot at the level he can?
Yeah. Of course, Humphrey. Marlon's always been able to handle that, but Marlon is great on the outside. Marlon is
I would think not him, because I thought we knew he was out there.
Yeah.
Not Marlon. Yeah, Marlon's always going to be on the outside. But I mean, if you take Tavon out and put him on the outside, whoever you put in the slot, are they going to be as good as him? Sometimes the best receiver on the other team is in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
Think about Edelman and all the times with Tom Brady and all that's people just going off in the slot. So
I want E-Man Marshall. I wanted him to come back and see what he got, because the dude, like from what I can see, he plays like Jimmy. He plays like Jimmy, but at the same time, Iman Marshall, USC guy, he been hurt like since Momar got drafted, basically. It's just like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, he's not there. You know what I mean? And so they're saying, play Chris Westry more, but Westry's got an injury that is probably going to put him out for multiple weeks. And it's unfortunate. That's why they ended up calling up another corner right now.
That's why cornerback was one of my options.
Yeah, and I think you're right.
We getting light back there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I feel like we have to bring up that corner, and I think he's going to be. I don't know how he's going to fit with us, what they're going to do with him, but at least he's got the speed to be able to keep somewhat up with Tyreek, because Tyreek run that 4.2. I don't care what nobody say. That boy fast as I'll get out. Did you see them videos of him racing people in the streets just like an old man?
No.
Oh, you got to go look those up. You got to look that up. This man is in the streets. So he dresses up on Instagram as this old man with, I'm talking like plaid shirts on with this like old school vest and some khaki pants and these, old school 60-year-old shoes or whatever. And he's got a cane. He's walking to the restaurant. And this dude is challenging people with that kick, that guy who was a good kicker in college, but he decided to like let his YouTube channel blow up or whatever. I think he was on that the show that Brandon Marshall has, I Am Athlete. He was just coming out there. But him and Tyreek, they just do shows during the summer. And Tyreek decides like to line up against anybody. Anybody wants to challenge. And he's running with these khaki pants on, these old shoes and everything, the whole outfit, everything. I gotta find it. And he like passes the cane over. It is hilarious. They be going off.
Looking like he like Uncle Drew out there, like when Kyrie dresses up like Uncle Drew.
It is an Uncle Drew impersonation. Hilarious. So dude ends up going through Moss and everybody. And the final person he races, because I guess if they beat him, they get $1,000 or something. Well, this girl, she come out, and she's voluptuous, and she's wearing nothing but a bikini. And she wants to run down the street with this guy. She trips over her feet. And when she trips over her feet, everything up here comes out. And of course, they blurred it. And she falls right on her face, concrete smash all across her face and everything, right? I was like, oh my gosh. And then Tyreek felt so bad. He had to give her, he was just like, hey, y'all give her 500. Y'all give her 500 because like she went all out. Trying to race goodness. And you know how Tyreek is. As he's running, he's looking at him as he's racing, as he's running next to him.
Right. That was on YouTube?
That's on YouTube. Type in Tyreek Old Man Racing.
I'm going to look for that. That's
Let's
funny.
see here. All right, so a couple of comments here. Nigel Warrior. I don't know. How you feel about Nigel Warrior?
Who was that? What position?
Yeah, he's a corner. He's either corner or safety, one of the DBs. But he was on the back of. To me, he was a highlight reel, or he was on everybody's highlight during the training camp. And it just, I was. You want to bring this?
I didn't pay much attention. I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to them in the preseason. It's hard to really gauge what they do based on reports. Yeah. Because for the most part, you hear a lot of good stuff, and then sometimes you might see some bad plays, and I'm like, okay, is that just a bad day? I don't know. So I don't really have an opinion about them. I don't know.
Sound like you got a fan here. So Westby boy, he knows exactly. This man got your GPS location based on your accent.
definitely from the west side.
That is cool, man. He'll track you down based off that. My family's off from Maryland, but I still couldn't tell like what was east, what is west, or whatever type accent because I'm from Louisiana, so they came down and had me. But all my family's over there. And I go there, they think I have the weirdest accent ever. So it's just like, but the Louisiana people say the same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good times. So let's talk about Tyreek. We just talked about Tyreek. How do the Ravens slow down Tyreek?
I don't know if we can. I mean, honestly, we've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a matter of slowing them down. It's you gotta try your best and take what you can get. Like people like him, I don't know. I don't know. If we had Marcus Peters, I would feel different, but we don't. If we had Jimmy Smith, I might feel different, but we don't. So I don't know how we're going to slow him down. Because when I look at them, it really doesn't take much of anything but one play, and he gone.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to slow him down.
Was the best I've seen him cover him was against when we were playing the Chiefs 2 years ago, and
2018.
Yes, I think it was 2018. No, 2019 when they played when they were in Chiefsville. The second time that Baltimore played them with.
I thought we played them, but really good in 2018. I think that was the best we ever defended them. And that was when we had the number one defense. I think Better when them was still there then, but I think that's the best that we've ever defended Kansas City in every matchup we've had since 2018. But to slow him down, I don't know how we're going to slow him down. I hope. Wait, no.
Let's see. ABC Def says double Tyreek, put humps on him with safety help. What do you think about that?
Is that going to stop? Is that going to split?
Well, the thing is,
I guess I don't know.
The reason we couldn't handle Tyreek back in the day in 2018 was because we had that slow safety back there. Weddle was just too slow to be able to handle that. And then, of course, we get Earl Thomas, and Earl Thomas, he could hang with him, but there was miscommunication. Yeah. And so there was a miscommunication.
He opened his mouth. He said, "They got me now. They got me now." And we still went up. We still lost.
He killed me when this dude talking about what we gonna face in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, why is he talking all this trash? We ain't there yet. And of course, we get destroyed by the Titans. I'm like, this guy got to stop talking. Oh my God!
A mess.
Here's a good suggestion.
I don't know. I mean, people like that, you can't. I don't know what you're gonna do. But they say, I'm the physical this type of thing. I mean, tight ends would kill us anyway. Tight ends been killing us for a while since Ray Lewis been gone. The linebackers got to be better. Patrick. You want to talk about somebody? Patrick Queen.
Yeah.
He looks good. He looked good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to get. I mean, these tight ends are different nowadays, but we have to get a linebacker like that has the Ray Lewis mentality of like you're not coming across here. But if you do come, just know what you're gonna get. We need to get that mentality with our linebackers for us to be able to put the focus on a tight end. Like tight ends are killing us for years. It's like that's been happening. That's been happening. Like
Jimmy Dean.
You could put Humphrey on. You could do that. That's an idea. That's an idea.
Problem is, there's one problem with that. There's two players that actually get, if they're facing our third and fourth corner, they're going to win these matchups, and that is Mecole Hardman and that is Demarcus Robinson. They are very talented guys. Honestly, I think if we roll with a zone, that way we could run that cover two deep and just hope that Pat Mahomes doesn't target the sidelines deep or the middle of the field. You want
to hope? You want to hope for that?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Okay. I'm hoping. I'm thinking like if they do cover two and do a lot of blitzes, cover two blitzes, that way he doesn't sit there all day and have time to throw the ball. Because if we run cover three, Tyreek's just gonna run past it. He's just gonna completely blow the scheme up and run past it all the way downfield. Running cover two, with the hopes that the blitzes or the pressures can get there. is more the better option. If they run the blitz off of man, you saw what happened last night. Anytime you doing zero blitzes, they would just Pat Mahomes will have a field day if we zero blitz because that's just speed right there. So you just got to toss up.
I don't know how you plan for this team. I don't know, So
I think it's just the art of deception. You have to have like a Rex Ryan mentality of organized chaos. That way, Pat doesn't know what's
I love that. I
coverage.
love that mentality. And actually, I mean, when you're just a position coach, you really probably don't have too much to say. But I was happy to get Rub because I was like, he might bring some of that Rex with him,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much Wink lets him have an opinion about the game plan. So I don't know.
I think Wink he has to just diversify the portfolio of blitzes and not stick to the same thing over and over again. What we saw Monday night was two things. Zone getting beat by Waller and man getting beat by Renfro. They needed to pull a linebacker into the flats for coverage while you had, like, let's say you got 6 people on the line and Carr doesn't know who's coming. If you pull that outside linebacker or defensive end, or even like just go crazy with it, throw a defensive tackle into coverage. Remember how they used to do that back in the day? It was like all of a sudden out of nowhere, the defensive tackle is pulling out in the coverage, and it screws the quarterback completely up. Make it random, mix it up, because the more Pat Mahomes is able to see what happens, he can do that Peyton Manning type deal and see things at the line before they happen, and then boom, he's beating us big.
Yeah, I want to get to the point where we can have a quarterback say, I was seeing ghosts, like Sam Darnold said when he played the Patriots at one time. I want to get to that point where the quarterback's like, I didn't know where they was coming from. I didn't know what was going on.
Yes. I want them to play them I want them to play defense the way they played against the Bengals. When they had DBs coming out of nowhere, you didn't see where this DB was coming from. And every DB got a sack on Joe Burrow. And it was a beautiful defense because he was actually having fun with the schemes. He was not playing fearful. Yeah. And I think the more fearful we play against Pat Mahomes, the more he's going to dot us up. Because he's going to see, okay, well, this is a basic scheme.
Well, you definitely can't play. You definitely can't be scared. You definitely cannot play scared. I mean, the Ravens, the thing about the Ravens is, and we've seen it over the years, like they play some of the greatest quarterbacks in the league very, very well. Like Tom Brady, we would give him problems. He's talked about what it took to prepare to face us. Peyton Manning talked about what it took to, like Drew Brees just beat us for the first time his whole career, like last year or whenever the last time we played the Saints. Like we have not yet figured out how to slow this guy down, Pat Mahomes. Because even when we can slow him down, they come back and they win.
Yes, he likes to play from behind.
It's not just when you say like slow down Tyreek. He's not even the only person that we gotta slow down. Yeah. Like. You worry about this one, then you gotta worry about that one, and then you worry about that one, you still gotta worry about this one and that one and that one, and then if you worry about all of them, then you still leaving somebody open out. No, your best bet. Our best bet is if we feel like the weakest link on their offense is their offensive line, then the focus needs to be the pass. Then the focus needs to be the pass rush.
Yeah,
we don't have a Myles Garrett type of guy on our line, but they better expose Orlando Brown. I love him dearly. Wish he didn't leave, but they better expose him like he got exposed last week. That's the only chance. And when you talk about slowing somebody down, it's going. This is my key for both sides of the ball. It's going to start up front. I don't want the offense to go into the game trying to outpass Peyton. Don't do that. Stick to what we do best, but be balanced when you need to be. But it's going to start up front in order for you to get the ball down there on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, if your front is straight, it doesn't even really matter what goes on the back end. So if we can get pressure on Pat Mahomes, it wouldn't even matter about slowing down Tyreek Hill because the play is over before it gets started. Yeah. So both fronts, offensive and defensive fronts, they have to be vastly improved from last week in order for this to be a different type of outcome than what we've had over the past couple of years.
Hey, you froze up, Shannon?
I'm here.
Okay. Let's see. I see if Shannon is going to hop back in. See if she'll get some reception here in a minute. But she's back, I think. Let me make sure you're here. Are you there?
I froze.
Yeah, you froze up for just about the last, say, 20 seconds. But you were
sorry.
you put a good comment up there. ABC Def says last time we had a good pass rush was 2018. That was the closest we came to beating the Chiefs.
And that's what
So
I said. That was at 2018. Yeah, we had, like you said, old slow Waddle, but that's the best we ever played them.
yeah, we
So
also had
Wink was our defensive coordinator. He was there, yeah. But Wink was our defensive coordinator. Then that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's the scheme or the players that we have, like like do we need to just and like get better pass rushers? Like what is it? Because we didn't we had when we had Haloti up front, he broke their nose. You know, we had guys that could get pressure up front. And it's like now we struggling with that.
Yeah, I think the pressure is going to be there. I mean, Owe in his first game is getting 4 pressures as a rookie and a sack. So I think if he continues on that same grind, honestly, I say I like him in one-on-one matchups. I like him in those one-on-one matchups because he has the ability to get there and disrupt plays. McPhee, even as old as he was actually getting and disrupting things on Monday night. He actually got a sack. Granted, it was off of the pressure of Houston and his technique. And you can see like the drill he kept doing in the camp where he's doing this number here the entire time with that. You can see that exact move coming off the line. It seems like everything he was practicing right there, he was bringing to life against the car. And I feel like him, McPhee, and Owe, they can get a great deal of pressure. What I want to see is more of that middle being jacked with Campbell. I need to see Campbell be able to get through there like he used to and disrupt the pocket because that's what's going to mess up Pat Mahomes if he's got a 6'6" guy in his face. Just hey, how you doing? He needs to be able to push that pocket a little bit further back because the second he pushes that pocket back and Owe runs that arc, it's going to be lights out for Mahomes. And that's why I say if they can get pressure with 4, run the zones, and I think they can contain Tyreek. I think I like that. The comment with the safety and the corner sitting there basically on a semi-double coverage, but just putting clamps because they'll have them in a zone. But having the guy on the arc, basically. So let's see here. We got Wesley Slimp in the house. What's going on, man? He just coming through saying what's up. What's funny is we still got that soccer guy still in here making comments.
Is he talking about soccer?
Yeah, he was going on about soccer. I'm like, what? He's just passionate. It might be a coworker of mine trolling me from back in the day. I don't know. It might be.
Oh.
So let's see. Next question is Sammy Watkins. What do you think about Sammy in this offense?
He impressed me. He was the only bright spot. When the game was over Monday, I said, "Ooh, Sammy Watkins was a bright spot." He impressed me. I don't want to get my hopes up because I know what his history has been with his health. But I was very impressed Monday. And I think that playing against this old team is going to want to show out like most people do when they play against their old team.
Yeah, I want to see that grudge come out of him and be like, hey, y'all didn't want to pay me or something along those lines and be like, yeah, I'm going to take it out on you. You know, maybe like, you know, some MJ and in the Gardens, you know, that's how it's what I want to see.
That, like we had a game. What's his Anquan Boulder had a game like that. That one year we played the Chiefs. I mean, not the Chiefs, the Cardinals.
The Cardinals,
he just went off. We went off when we played them. I was like, yeah, be mad.
Well, you remember why, right? It's like as they made it to the AFC champ or the NFC championship game, or was it they made it to the Super Bowl? Him and the offensive coordinator were about to full on fist fight, and that was right before he came before he came to the Ravens. He was just ready to throw down.
Oh wow!
Because he's hungry. He wants the ball. Like, hey, feed me the rock. And I mean, when you're sitting in the shadow of Larry Fitzgerald, it's kind of like, all right, like Anquan, Larry. I mean, we're talking about a legend here, or this guy. I mean, it's a great option. Have 1A, 1B, and of course, the quarterback's going to have their favorite, and there's plays set up specifically for Larry. And I think that's where Anquan was mad, was because like, hey, where are my plays? How am I supposed to eat? You know what I mean? This is my money. You messing with my check.
They always run about their money.
Oh yeah,
always.
So Watkins, he had.
But I like him. I think he'll be good. Like we said earlier, I have nothing bad to say about the wide receivers. Like, I mean, from what I saw, they did fine. They did what they could do, you know. But I was very impressed with Sammy Watkins, and I hope that continues on for the rest of the year. I just can't get my hopes up just yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him take this W, and I want to see him do it because of the fact that the defense was the chink in the armor for the Chiefs, and the Ravens take advantage of it. And I think Sammy is the way
And
to
he
go.
might know.
Yeah,
He might know. Probably knows ways to exploit the DBs that he faced daily. You know.
And I think he was getting most of the targets. He was getting most of the targets.
Is the Honey Badger going to be back? Is Honey Badger going to be back this week?
I am not sure, but if he's back, if he's not back, this should be a game where they take deeper shots across the middle of the field because I mean he is that ball safety that they can run cover 3 with full confidence, and if he's not there, then hey, Sammy is going to eat all day. Oh, somebody, Jimmy Dean says we have another option outside of Hollywood and Andrews. Can't take away all 3. Oh, yes, I think he's referring to
that's
Watkins.
True. Sammy Watkins. Yeah, that's true.
And I like
but
Sammy.
Again, but even to utilize all 3 of them at one time, the offensive line got to do their job. You know.
All right, so I think Wesley came in a little late, but he has a question that we hit on, but we can just touch on just to give him that answer that he's looking for. So who is the star back now? Star is now down and out for the season.
I don't know. I mean, what I said was I would pick Williams because I felt like he was playing well early on. But it's hard for me to say because they literally just came in. It might be a week today that they've been within the organization. So it's hard to really judge people who only had 3 to 4 days to practice. And I feel like the team may have been looking at that game as a way to see who they wanted to go with. Let me give you some time here and give you some time there. But to me, they should just stick with Williams.
I think so. I love the way he runs. I just love how he gets loose and he's just taking off. It reminds me of a healthy Devontae Freeman. I'll be honest.
You must like that guy. You
watching him run when he was in New York and when he was in Atlanta, you just saw speed, you saw burst, you saw full on. Hey, just get it, go.
But then what happens?
He got broke.
Just make sure you. Just tell the whole story.
Yeah, he got broke. I'm just hoping that I just want to see him come up too. They'd be a great 1-2 punch there. Just both of them speedsters just killing it. I would love to see that. But I also like to see Bell come up. But yes, to answer your question, Wesley, we both on the same page. We like Williams over Murray, over Freeman, over Bell. We want Williams for president 2021. Let's go. The running back committee anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We have some D questions. I think we hit on Wink already, talking about the same scheme. I think we hit plenty hard on that. The legit cornerback number 2 is Anthony Averett. The answer, Dalen Hayes. I believe we hit on that already. Let's see. Does anybody else have any questions in the? Oh, I did have one. Here's a good one. This one is going back to the offense, and it is referring to Chris Jones. So the answer is, will Chris Jones be as big of a problem as we had with Max Crosby?
If they don't improve, it's like if they don't improve, he'll have just a game just like that. Yes.
I think with Villanueva, he is making a transition from right tackle to left tackle. I got to give him credit. That's going from left tackle to right tackle.
Well, why do we? Well, we shouldn't have him over there. We should not. We don't. No, Harbaugh. No.
It's the shift of the feet and the chemistry with the guards. So you got to be able to talk with the guard and say, "Hey, man, this is where I'm gonna be at. This is where you need to be at." Something along those lines. Getting that chemistry down, it takes real-time reps. And when has the line actually been healthy enough to work together? So this is kind of
that's fair.
It's working out. It's working out the kinks in there. And so if being the way somebody I'll put this up here. I normally don't put stuff up like this.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna put that back down. But yes, in a way, he's a big guy, and it's the footing is different. You have to switch everything in your mechanics to the opposite side, and you're doing things backwards. At least that's what it's probably going to feel like after playing left tackle all these years. to move over to the
Okay, so
right.
but do you think that he was the best option? Like and everybody who's there in camp, everybody that's the option. You think that was the best option if he looked shaky to me, right?
Veteran
So
experience
I'm
wise,
not
yes.
gonna.
But I
I just
think
want to know what did Harbaugh see? What made you say yes? If he did, when he left the Steelers, they were complaining about him. So then you're
yeah.
gonna bring him here and make him go do something else?
Well, I mean, when you're looking at the
Okay.
ratings, like his ratings matched exactly what Orlando Brown's had. Orlando Brown had the same amount of
When?
pressure, pass protection, all of that. Only difference between Orlando Brown and Villanueva, and when during their careers, or excuse me, during last year, was that Villanueva took more pass snaps, so he actually was better at pass protection than Brown, because what did the Ravens do? We ran the ball, so it wasn't that many opportunities to pass protect as Villanueva
You
had.
talking about are you saying when he was at right tackle or left tackle?
Yes,
Who's talking
when
about Orlando
Villanueva was
Brown?
at left tackle. So whenever Villanueva was at left tackle and Orlando Brown was at left tackle, they both didn't get like even snap count, but the percentage was the exact same of pass protection. So that means if the percentage is the same and Big Ben is doing nothing but throwing the rock because they had no confidence in the run game, then Villanueva was actually doing more pass protection in that position. Now, of course, moving over to the right side, it's going to take some time to gel.
Oh yeah, he definitely did more because they passed what we did, But
Yeah.
I'm saying
Well, you're looking at
you
a guy who
they
throws
you
like 5,000 yards in the season versus Lamar, who throws 2,700 yards in the season. So you got
and guess what? I don't even want anyone to think that I'm saying it's not hard because I'm sure it's difficult to make that adjustment. I'm saying as a Ravens fan, was he the best option? I'm asking, was he the best option? Because what I saw on Monday, I was like, are you trying to get our quarterback killed? Like, what are you doing?
It definitely, from straight up, like, what exactly was there on paper, just like we talk about, Prochet. What was displayed during a game versus what's displayed in practice, totally two different things. What was displayed on the Steelers and what is displayed now with the Ravens, totally two different things. We're seeing what is exactly right there, and Villanueva did not have a good game, not at all. Was he the best option out of everybody in camp? In my opinion, I think they should have went with Adrian Ely. He's got the size. He's a younger, more spry type of rook. I said they should have went with him. Maybe he could have been Orlando Brown part 2, but we don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he could have went out there and had a similar game to Villanueva based off of what we saw. Like, hey, I mean,
so do you think that they played him because he played last year? I mean, he played last year and the other guy didn't.
Well,
so
it's an Eric DeCosta thing. Like, you look at it like Eric paid a decent amount of money for this guy. And if John is going up to him saying, "Hey, look, this ain't it," and then Eric was like, like a mom on Friday, like, "Hey, make it enough," and telling him, "Hey, put this guy back out there because that's the guy he paid, and he was expecting him to produce." And so they got to at least see what the investment is, what they paid for. Now, let's just say we go to Detroit after whatever happens in Kansas City. If the Ravens do not produce in Detroit and it's because of Villanueva, then you say, hey, look, bro, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? That's when you tell them, hey, you know what, welcome to the practice squad, or you hit them bricks or something along those lines. Go with Ely or you go with Smith, or you actually even bring Cleveland to the outside because Cleveland has the size on there. And I would
so
like
you want
to
give him at least two more games.
Two more games.
Okay.
Because of the reps.
Okay.
You get those real time reps, you can get that chemistry, and then things can be more explosive on that side. And we've seen it in preseason.
I don't think that we will be as bad as we were Monday. Like I just know the type of coach we have and what we're about. I don't see that being a big issue again. But that doesn't mean that he's not going to give up plays here and there and things like that. I was just more baffled by the play that we referenced earlier when you were double teaming in the situation that didn't call for that, and the guy just came straight through, And because we know, and my fear I've already feel like Lamar. I don't know if he's going to be able. Like, we don't know. We can trust him to make it through seasons, right? So we don't need him getting hit any extra, stuff like that, extra free hits. Like, just do your job. That's all I need him to do. Do your job. Know when you need to double team and know when you don't need to double team, and just protect that guy back there. And I know it's different. Everybody always says it's harder to be an offensive lineman for a run quarterback because you really never know where they're going.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean,
so
Russell Wilson,
you know what? You know what? Just talking to you just made me realize something. I'm gonna give him a pass. I'm gonna give him a pass.
There you go. Give a pass. B gets a pass.
I'm not. Now when they with that comment, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm only gonna give him a pass because, like you said, he did move over to right tackle, and playing with a quarterback like Lamar versus a quarterback like Big Ben is totally different.
Yeah, he always knows.
So
He know what Ben gonna be. Ben gonna be sitting there in the pocket.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right, we're gonna throw this thing.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll see. We'll see. If it's not any changes by week 3, then like you said, he got to go.
Yeah, he got to go after that particular time frame. You got to give him time to gel, figure out, because I mean Baltimore, like Big Ben's not running read option. You're not gonna see Big Ben take it and do the mesh point and then bolt out or whatever. If he is, it's a fake. It's just gonna be, Big Ben is just faking. He's like, all right, so it's just most gonna be a pass to a slant. But with Lamar, you got to figure out, all right, do I double team? Is it the design to let this guy come in, or is it not the design? Right. Because if it is the design, the next thing you know, you got somebody coming up the middle and smacking the running back because of the fact that nobody was protecting everybody was supposed to protect. So it's a learning thing.
And something else we probably could do. I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help us that we don't have Nick Cole right now because he could actually get in and help on certain blocking schemes. But we might just have to get more help in there. If it becomes an issue against the Chiefs, don't leave him out there on the island. Make the running backs help a little bit more, and whatever tight ends you have available, make them help a little bit more. I mean, just don't make them be out on the island. That's all I can say.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll wrap the show up with a couple of just quick hitters. Okay. What's your final score prediction?
I will say, shoot, my scores today might be different tomorrow, but
1 sec.
Oh, I will say Ravens. Because it's normally it kind of be a close game sometimes. I'm gonna give us the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna come back angry. I'm gonna say Ravens 35, Chiefs 31.
Yeah, Ravens 35, Chiefs 21. I like it. I like it a lot. And the thing is you might be right on because John Harbaugh, after losses, John puts up 20 plus points. He gets pissed off and he just decides to get after it after losses most of the time. So I'm thinking, here's my thing. If Baltimore decides to stick to the game plan, whether it be ground or air, don't deviate and decide to get into a full-on air assault with this guy, but a balanced attack, winning the time of possession and keeping to the ground as if it exists because that is where the money is. And then, of course, finding a way to get Andrews involved. I'm not necessarily worried about our defense. I think they're going to have a decent scheme because I know if Wink comes out with the same mess he came out with on Monday, it could be a problem. But I think John is probably pulled him aside, probably smack him around a little bit, say, hey, man, mix it up a bit, make it creative. If they come out with a balanced attack on offense and a decent zone to contain those deep bombs on defense, I'm saying – Baltimore could win this 24-20, and we won't go 0-2. So I'm predicting Baltimore is going to win this one against all Vegas odds and all that. So I'll be the one that makes the money if we go ahead and win. Oh, here we go. Antoine says 30-27, Ravens by 3. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. Now that is what we got there. So we're going to go ahead and end the show. This is the home of Original Sports Perspective. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Thank you coming through,
Thanks
Shannon.
For having me. Thank you.
Yeah. We got to do more of these. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. I appreciate y'all coming through. Everyone, have a wonderful night.
Good night.
All right, good night.